So welcome to the concluding episode of the first season of Better World Leaders. And in this summation, this finale, I'm going to invite you to consider what is the next small step that you can take to make the world better. So why am I going to talk today just about taking a small step? Why not a huge leap? Why not some game-changing shift? Well, this is exactly the point of this podcast for me, and I hope potentially for you, that I'm here to learn and I'm here to curate the learning from as many fantastic leaders as I can bring to you, conversation by conversation, episode by episode, step by step, because there have been a number of awakening moments for me in dialogues with people who I greatly respect as leaders, and I have very much looked up to and thought, wow, if I can achieve or do a tenth of what that person has done, I will deem myself to have done the great things and to have succeeded as a leader. But often I find these people in somewhat of a hiatus in conversation with me saying, why can't I do, sort of the things that you're doing? And what is it about, me and my perspective or my mindset or my outlook, which keeps me, sort of narrowly on this rail where I want to be doing something more expansive, so much more impactful. And this has been particularly striking to me because, believe me, I don't consider anything that I've done so far to be aspirational or inspirational, but seemingly to some people it is. So what I've found already in the conversations in this first season is that I'm starting to understand how we can move past and lead forward beyond this hiatus, beyond this, sort of, it's almost a sort of a sense of a trap of being held back and not being able to do and be more. So what I'm going to do today is highlight what I think are 5 steps, 5 ways that we can progress through and into a position of being able to make the world better. And as I do that, I'm going to reflect on a number of the conversations that we've had in this first season and interject, just sort of short references from those conversations and let the guests speak for themselves and repeatedly share their knowledge with you, just to resound and embed this is a way that you can take a step that will lead you towards making the world better. The first of these steps is to hear the call. And as you hear the call, confront the need to change. And hearing the call is something that was most explicitly referenced by Victoria Foster in the superb conversation that she and I had in episode 6. And for Victoria, hearing the call came as she was sort of wrestling with the pursuit of purpose. And, to her words, as you'll hear in a moment, sort of just expecting that you can click your fingers and find your purpose. For her and for many people, that just doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. And in actual fact, what is much more beneficial is to essentially tune in and appreciate that for many of us, our purpose is already resonating. We just need to find a way to give it the amplification and find the volume that we can adjust the frequency of so that we can hear it and address it and answer the call. Here's Victoria Foster.
But the minute I started trying to find my purpose, right, when you're trying to figure it out, right, it doesn't work. And what I found is that actually it's about listening to kind of where we're being called instead of figuring it out. Right. And I see that so much, like as you were just describing, with your child, right? It's like when you actually work with what's there and see what emerges, really amazing opportunities are there. And actually the answers are there. But it requires us to actually be listening and really paying attention in ways that we're not used to.
So once you've answered the call, what comes next? And for me, and I think for many people, there've been these moments of calling and we can recognize them and to an extent we can hear them. but we don't hold them long enough, and we don't honor that they are what they are, that they are a call to purpose, and we don't make the commitment to do something different. And there's many ways that we can explore about how you make a commitment, but the one that I'm going to reflect on today is coming directly from episode 7 and a specific point that Sherif Hassanein made in that conversation about one of the behaviors that reflects a value that he holds most dear, and that's respectful courage.
Yeah, so we've got 7 Hussman behaviors, and I love them all, but the ones that I'd call out as my favorites. One is respectful courage. I think speaking your mind and calling issues or behaviors out is really important, but doing it in a respectful way so that the message lands in the right way. So that's one for me.
So once you've heard the call and you've made the commitment to change and to lay out a path that's created of small steps to make progress, to make the world better, and to change your leadership and apply it to making the world better, now it's all about facilitating the environment for success. And that specific phrase was the thing that resonated for me so powerfully from the conversation I had with Barbara Meister.
I think there's like 3 key things for me. This facilitation of the environment for individuals to succeed. I think that probably summarizes it up. And I'm probably similar to it, like a parent. You want to facilitate, the environment for your child to basically get the best out of be able to get your child to get best out of their lives.
I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this next step, or this next iteration in this process, which is really to reflect on the words that a great mentor gave to me some years ago, which were essentially this: when you're looking to make a major change, seek to use as much as what you have now to do the small thing that is different. And what I took that to mean was really, wherever you stand today, you have achieved a lot. Whether you're at the beginning of your career or the end, you've already done a lot that can help you to do something differently. So the question that I would have to you is, how do you apply everything that you have, everything that you know, everything that you can do now, and make that small shift to apply it differently to make the world better? So I think the suggestions that I would have are, don't abandon what you have, thinking that you need to completely recreate to do something to make the world better. Don't turn your back on your network. In fact, re-engage them, but change the way that you talk, change the way that you message to them, change the way you use the resources that you have on hand, and build a community around you and be a part of it and within it that can help you to have the impact you want and be the change that you want to see. And that final point there about building the community, I mean, that was the conversation with Rachel Abel in episode 9. And just to use a brief extract of that here now, to talk about the benefit of community in making the most of what you have to become a very powerful fulcrum for change.
And what I realized was all those experiences that I'd been fortunate to have been part of, where people were very purpose and values driven in my leadership timeline, had then helped to craft my idea, my definition of leadership. Many people haven't had that opportunity or taken that time to really reflect on their leadership journey, and also to have that conversation and think through how to align themselves with their values. So it's something that some of us kind of intrinsically know, but unless you've actually been through that kind of work, you wouldn't necessarily have written it down or put it into words or kind of found a way of communicating that to other people.